Hey, what's up, everybody? Marcos Viegas here. It's the Cinco de Drinko edition of our Fight Up TV live chat. Welcome, everybody. It is, wow, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Going to tweet out that we are live. Another fan Q&A, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Going to talk about what's been going on this week in boxing and really, answer a lot of the questions that you guys have with all the boxing talk and topics that's been going on. One thing that I did want to touch on was, and got a quick little email here, was that today is May 4th, and usually around this time, we're at us media people or at a big fight, and because of everything that's been going on, there's no big fight for us to go and be at. And you guys do me a big favor. Let me know if the microphone is working. I've been having mic issues as of late with the microphone. What up, Brandon? What's going on, man? So just let me know if the mic you're hearing audio and it's working. I'm gonna do a test real quick and see. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Perfect. Lorenzo Corleone, what's up, man? Saludos. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, guys. Just before we, what's up, Unseen Shadow? Okay, Mike is good. Okay, perfect. All right, yeah, because I know like last week we had like a little bit of a, excuse me, of a mic issue. So I'm trying to figure out if it's the actual mic apparatus or the camera. But like I was saying before, that it's May 4th. Tomorrow's Cinco de Mayo. Usually, we would us media people would be in Vegas or in Texas covering a big fight. The big May 4th fight that was supposed to happen this time around was supposed to be Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Saunders. There was a press conference that was going to be planned for it because I was in contact with a lot of the people in the promotion, but they were kind of waiting to see what was going to happen with this coronavirus. And because of the coronavirus, they pushed back on the press conference. But when you tell like a media person or somebody that works in the business that a press conference is being planned, that means that the fight was pretty much made. So yeah, it's a bummer we didn't get to see Canelo versus Saunders. Who knows if they still end up doing it? Art Alexander, what's up, fool? What's up? I could see them going to Golovkin right away, but we don't know when boxing is going to come back. That's the thing. I'm starting to see movement that July, possibly. 92AKU. Hey, what up, bro? Thanks for watching the Ak and Barak video. You guys, we posted 3 videos just maybe about 2 hours ago. So after this chat, make sure to go and check it out. I'm going to send out the shirts this week, too. I'm going to select 2 people, like I said last week. And you guys are going to get notifications soon, whoever were the people that commented and left their social media handle on last week's live chat. So with that being said, let's get in with the question, guys. Just go ahead and type in questions. You guys are already typing in questions. And we'll go and get the fan chat started. Art Alexander, 93. Linares versus Garcia, July 4th. It's not going to happen, bro. A few reasons. From what I've read, Brian is going to have a fight. They're talking about a closed door fight in LA, but it's not going to be Jorge Linares because Linares is in Japan. I'm not sure what the travel restrictions are right now from Japan to here in the United States. I'm not sure if there's a travel ban from travelers coming from Japan to the U.S., but Jorge's in Japan right now. So I know there's restrictions on both ends. So that's a big problem. And from what I read, Ryan's just going to have another opponent. It's not going to be Jorge Linares, and that it's going to probably be a closed door fight, I think at the Forum or somewhere in LA. But yeah, definitely won't be Jorge Linares, which is a bummer because the Jorge Linares fight to me was a great fight. You know, a lot of people I felt were writing off Jorge Linares, and Jorge Linares showed he still has a lot left with that last performance that he had against Carlos Morales, knocking him out in 2-3 rounds. That guy went the distance, I believe, with Ryan Garcia. So Jorge is showing that he can still give a lot of guys problems. The thing with Jorge, it's always the thing with Jorge is he gets hurt easily, and you never know what's going to happen. And Brandonian bringing up a good point. They always write Linares off, not me though. So in a fight between Ryan and Linares, you got to think that Ryan is a younger guy, a little bit quicker, but Linares has more experience. I would even say Linares is more technical in his combinations. Linares throws a little bit more. He has a little bit more power too. Just Ryan, his hooks are just lightning fast. If Ryan would catch Linares, it would be in the early rounds. So it would have been a great fight to see. An exciting one where I think both guys would have had their moments in the fight. So it's a bummer that we don't go ahead and get to see the fight. It would have been good. Rafael P, what's up, man? What do you think about Charlo? Which Charlo? Let me know. Charlo versus Canelo or Andrade? Well, I'd rather see Charlo versus Canelo. We put out a video on Saturday, a workout side-by-side comparison with Charlo and Canelo Alvarez working the mid side-by-side. Check that out when this live chat is done. It's a good comparison as to how their styles are, how quick they are on the mitts, what combinations they throw. It's just purely a cool comparison thing to see. You know, obviously, when we do the side-by-side videos, we use the most recent footage of them working out or try to get the most recent footage of them working out. I don't like using old footage for the side-by-side comparison videos. So the one that we had with Canelo and Charlo that we uploaded on Saturday, check it out if you haven't seen it already. It's a cool little indication because you're seeing Canelo hitting the body a lot in his combinations, but you're also seeing Charlo when he wants to let his hands go, he's explosive. Now, in terms of fight between Canelo and Charlo, I don't know, I'm going to leave it to you guys. What do you guys think? Who do you guys give the edge to? I'm going to go ahead and read your guys' comments and give you guys a moment to type in who'd win that fight. I know we asked this question on our Instagram, but it's funny. I'm reading your comment right now, Frederick. I saw that clip. Trying to stir the pot, dog. Trying to stir the pot. But right now, you guys, give me your opinion on who would win in a Canelo versus Charlo fight. I'll go ahead and read your guys' responses. But on Instagram, overwhelming majority of people felt that Canelo would beat Charlo at this point. On the YouTube comments on that video, that side-by-side video that we posted up, overwhelmingly amount of people said and feel that Canelo Alvarez would win the fight. And I think the reason why people are saying that is because the competition that Canelo's faced, the skill level of the competitions Canelo faced, it's just Canelo's damn good. He's really good. You know, he's quick. Yeah, he's smaller for middleweight and super middleweight, but he attacks the body really well. He's really, really good defensively. If style-wise, if you're a guy that comes forward and likes to fight him in the close range, Canelo is going to do a number on you because of the body punching and the combination punching that he has. So let's see what you guys went ahead and wrote about who you think would win between Canelo and Charlo. And if I sound a little bit low energy, I apologize. I just got back from like a 5-mile run. I'm a little tired. I'm a lot older now. I'm not like I was back in my 20s where I could do that and be fine. It takes a toll on me now. But Canelo versus Charlo, I'm seeing Canelo beats Charlo. Canelo, in my opinion. Canelo with a knockout. This is Brandon Alvarez. Why do you think Canelo will knock him out? I want to hear your opinion. Unseen Shadow. I like both fighters, but Canelo has the edge. Unseen Shadow. Why do you think Canelo has the edge? Is it the youth? Is it the speed? Is it the stuff that I listed in terms of his experience and the opponents he's faced? What do you see there? Fred, you're funny, bro. El Mas Loco. I favor Canelo over Charlo. Hopefully that's next, though. I don't care for a third fight with GGG. I care about a third fight with Triple G. I want to see a third fight with Triple G because they have unfinished business, dude. No one really won those 2 fights, man. Like, Golovkin won the first fight. Let's not sugarfoot around it. He won that first fight, and they didn't give it to him. They gave him a draw. The second fight, debatable. It was a close fight. I thought it was a draw, okay? Could have gone either way. You look at the judges' scorecards, there's like 1 point apart. 1 point apart means a fight could have gone either way. A lot of people felt even then that it was a draw or Canelo won. But even though no one's had a decisive, clear win against each other, and that's why I want to see a third fight, because Golovkin can't say that he has a decisive win over Canelo and vice versa. Canelo can't say like, oh, yeah, I already whooped that guy's ass. No, you didn't whoop that guy's ass. You had 2 very, very close fights with him. Finish it. Finish the story. Close the book on it. Give us a third fight. I want a third fight because of that. Let's see. Darkness has fallen. Why hasn't Jamal, Charlo, and Tank fought elite fighters or unified? When I mean elite, I mean Andrade, Jacobs, Triple G. For Tank, Lomachenko, Berchelt, or Teofimo. You know, all the 160s are with DAZN. So obviously, it's going to cause some trouble there with Charlo finding fights. Both not 54 Charlo, because PBC has all the 154 pound fighters. But with big Charlo, Jamal Charlo, yeah, 160, they're all with DAZN. So, you know, and PBC sees Charlo as one of their marquee signature fighters. So, you know, it's okay to let an Andy Ruiz go to DAZN at that point, because Andy Ruiz wasn't their big star, their marquee star like he is now. You can let Jojo Diaz go to Showtime and fight Gary Russell, because Jojo at the time wasn't your big star. You can let a Jose Ramirez leave from ESPN to go fight Maurice Hooker on DAZN, because he's not your Terrence Crawford. He's not your Vasily Lomachenko. He's not your moneymaker. Charlo, he's a significant moneymaker for PBC. He's popular. He brings in good ratings. So you're going to be hesitant to send him out over to DAZN in a fight that he could lose, because against Charlo, against all those guys, are very competitive fights, very dangerous fights for either or. For Charlo, for Canelo, Charlo and Golovkin, Charlo and Andrade, very, very difficult fights. So, you know, it's the same thing with me, you know. If I manage them, I'd be like, hey, you know, the only way you're going over there if they're offering a very huge, significant amount of money. And if not, then no, I'm not going to send you over there. Thing is, and you know, you can only go on what you hear and you draw your own conclusions. But according to Eddie Hearn, he's made significant offers for Charlo to fight Andrade. He's even said that he doesn't mind having Andrade go to Fox, which to me you would think that's a green light to see a Charlo versus Andrade fight. But you know, Andrade is a difficult fight to have. And the thing with Andrade is, look, okay, you go in a fight with Andrade, what's your risk reward there? You know, your risk is you lose against a guy that's not going to make you look very good. So the fight's going to suck. The fans are going to hate it because he's so defensive. The other thing is you lose to a guy that has very low mainstream recognition, not boxing fan recognition, because boxing fans know Andrade. They know him. world champion. He has something to offer. But the casual sports fan, they're not really going to know him. So it's like a lose-lose there for a guy like a Charlo fighting an Andrade, unless there's a lot of money. And do you really lose if you're pocketing 10 million in the bank? I don't think you really lose it if you're pocketing that much. So, hopefully we see it, man. Hopefully we see it. Keep sending your questions in, guys. Go ahead. Get my second win now. I'm waking up. Thank God. Follow us at Fight Up TV on Instagram and on Twitter, and follow me as well at Hey, it's Marcos V. We'll be picking the t-shirt giveaway winners at the end of this. I will be sending you a DM. All you had to do was comment with your social media handle. You should have been here last week's live chat. They're getting these fancy little Fight Hub shirts. This one and this one. What up, Ramblin' Ralph? I'd send you a shirt, bro, but I don't think I have your size. I only have medium and large, dog. So I hope you're doing well, homie. All right, let's get the more questions coming in. Marvin Rawlins Jr. What's up, Marvin? How's it going, man? How you doing with all this time? Thank you for asking this question and tuning in with us. Was judging? Oh, okay, this is a good one. This was about my performance in the Pacquiao fight. All right. Was judging the second half of the Pac-Man versus Thurman fight the hardest you had to judge after the early knockout? That's a good question, bro. I want to say I wasn't as stressed as I was judging the last rounds of Porter versus Ugas. Porter versus Ugas stressed me the F out, especially during those last rounds, man. I was like, oh, shit, this round's close. Who am I going to give it to? I'm like trying to like see like, okay, who's landing the better punches? With Thurman and Pacquiao, it's funny too. I'm going to tell you guys a funny story. All right, you guys. See, this is a cool thing too when you guys tune into these live chats, because I could tell you like little stories about what happened to me after judging these fights and all that. So, Pacquiao Thurman, right? I'll take a swig of this Coke. From what I remember, I had Manny winning, but Thurman was catching up on the cards. Okay, and I remember the fight's over. Manny's declared the winner. Everybody starts clearing out. I get my call from production saying, "Hey, you're good to go, Marcos. Go ahead and do your Fight Hub stuff now." So I go to the back. I'm just trying to get reaction videos from everybody, and then I make my way over to Manny's locker room. So I go inside Manny's locker room, and I get stopped by Freddie's assistant. And Freddie's assistant goes, I'm getting this look from them. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, what did I do? And they're like, I'm going to sit you down with Freddie, and I'm going to teach you how to score a fight. And I was like, oh, God. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, man, I had it for Manny. It was competitive, but, he won. And they were like, how could you give Keith this round and this round? I think I gave Keith some of the early rounds. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, Keith was landing like good punches, like clean punches where Manny's head was going back. And they're like, I'm going to sit you down with Freddie. We're going to see the fight again, and we're going to teach you how to score the fight. And I'm just like, geez. And that's not the first time that's happened with me in terms of I finished judging a fight, and then I switch over to my Fight Hub role, and then the fighter or the trainer comes up to me and goes, hey, how could you score it for this other person? And I'm just like, that's how I saw the fight, man. So with that, it was pretty funny because I was worried that they weren't going to let me interview Freddie. So I asked, like, hey, can I interview Freddie? And they gave me this look like, really, bro? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Like, they were kind of giving me a hard time over me giving Thurman some of the early rounds. So, I get the interview with Freddie. I'm trying to get the interview with Manny. And it's just like a good 20, 30 people in his locker room, a lot of commotions going on. I see Manny's PR person get a phone call. I look at him like, hey, can I get an interview? And he's kind of like, it's like touch and go, bro, touch and go, because there was the post-fight press conference was about to start, and they were going to air that live, I think, on their YouTube channel. So they had to be there by a certain time. So I'm there in the back, and then Manny finally comes out, and I'm hoping like, yes, I'm going to get Manny, and the Filipino media there just swarms him, and I'm like, shit, I don't think I'm going to get a one-on-one with Manny. So I go there and I just stick my mic in there, and then they were saying, hey, turn your lights off. The light is hurting Manny's vision. He can't see. I'm like, what do you mean he can't see? Like, yeah, the light hurts him. So Manny's there. He puts his sunglasses on. He leaves. I go back to get Manny after the fight, and that's where I got Manny for like 40 seconds one-on-one. But I had asked him, Manny, how's your eye? Because he had trouble seeing out of his eye. And one of the people, when I was in the locker room after the fight, when Manny was there, told me that, hey, he's having trouble seeing out of his eye. They thought he had scratched his eye. So that was an interesting little thing. Like, this happens to me sometimes when I score a fight. The fighters or the trainers will come up to me and just ask me, like, hey, what are you looking for? I'll give you another example of that. We were in Minneapolis for Jamal James versus Antonio DeMarco, and our co-main event was Gerald Washington versus Robert Helenius. And I think I had Helenius winning the fight. And after the fight ends in stoppage, Gerald knocks him out. After the fight, we get the scorecards. My scores are like the judges. Now, it wasn't 9-2 AKU. It wasn't Boo Boy. It was someone else. DJ 2020, Gallo Negro, yes. So I lost my train of thought. Washington, there we go. Gerald Washington wins the fight. At Pacquiao Thurman, I'm walking. It's hot as hell. It's like 100 degrees. An event just finished. I think it was like the final press conference, and they had a media tent at the back of the MGM. I'm walking, and I see Gerald. I'm like, hey, what's up, Gerald? Hey, what's up? We start talking. He's like, hey, what were you looking at in that fight? Like, I'm just kind of curious. Like, I'm not dogging your score, but like, what were you scoring? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? What was I scoring? He's like, yeah. How'd you give the fight to Helenius? I was landing a lot of punches. And I was like, yeah, well, he landed a lot of punches on you too, bro. Like, a lot of clean punches on you that, like clear to the scoring zone right here, where your head went back like this a lot of power punches, damaging punches. So I was telling him, like, hey, when I'm looking at a fight and scoring it, it's like a scale dependent on the effective punches one's landing. Jab, 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 power punch, power punch, power punch, jab, power punch, jab, power punch, power punch. It's a scale that goes back and forth, back and forth. And you got to ask yourself, who was the most effective? Who landed the most clear and concise punches in the scoring zones? Face, the body, So that's what I always look at. And, my scoring criteria is always evolving. I'm always trying to learn to score better. But that happens to me sometimes. So, it's interesting because I always get a little nervous too, because I know fighters can get sensitive with controversial fights that go to split decision where they think they want to fight and you score the fight against them and they get angry. And it's like, man, that's how I saw it, bro. Like, what do you want me to tell you? You can't be mad at me. Like, so yeah, that is has happened to me. All right, let's go back to the question. El Mas Loco, how did your job with Fox come about? Was it off the strength of Fight Hub and all the work you've been putting in for years? That's El Mas Loco. Faithful Niner, I'll get to your question right now. I'm gonna get to your guys' questions, but sometimes I get sidetracked with stories. And Rick Glazer on Mayweather versus Broner. If it happens, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'd prefer to see Floyd fight somebody else, but the build up to the fight would be good. I'll touch on that. But back on El Mas Loco's question. So how did I come from no school in broadcasting, learning all this on the job, never going to a broadcast journalism school or going to a broadcast journalism class, and learning everything on the job through years and years of experience, go from YouTube and end up on network television? Well, it was a long time, a long journey, 10 years to finally get my foot in the door. And I'm still having to fight for, opportunity and recognition. But so how it happened was interesting. I randomly got a call one day from Steve Farhood from Showtime, and he had told me that Al Bernstein had recommended me for a position that he was looking to fill. I had worked for Al Bernstein for many years. He was a mentor of mine. He taught me a lot of what I know. I improved and learned a lot of the broadcasting basics from Al Bernstein. And I'm forever indebted to Al because he gave me that knowledge, which was the basis of what I know and what I've learned now. But he also gave me an opportunity. I worked for the Boxing Channel for many years, which was a thing that I was working on as I believe, an executive producer. And from my work with that, Al had heard from Steve Farhood that he was looking for somebody for this PBC historian / ringside scorer. So Farhood gives me a call and says, "Hey, Marcos, I'm Steve Farhood with Showtime." I'm like, I know who you are, bro. Al Bernstein recommended you for work, that you're looking for work. I'm like, yeah, I am. What's up, man? And I'm there thinking like it's a position with Showtime. I'm getting all excited. And then he's like, well, you heard of this little outfit called PBC? I'm like, yes, of course I've heard of PBC. He's like, well, they're looking for people to be historians and ringside scorers. And I'm just like, all right. And he's like, would you be interested? And I'm like, well, what's the job position like? And he tells me like, starts saying like, you're the guy that knows everything about boxing. And if the broadcasters have a question on somebody or who fought who for a title, if there's any beefs going on or current events, you're the guy to go to. And I was like, Steve, I'm not a historian, dude. Like, I've only been in boxing for 10 years. If one of these broadcasters were to ask me like a fight that happened in the 80s, I couldn't be able to tell them. I wasn't even born yet. And like when Sugar Ray Leonard had all his fights, I was like 1 year old, And he's like, don't worry. This is not like a historian in the normal sense. This is a historian for current events. And all these guys that are fighting now. You've been interviewing them for years. So from there, he's like, have you scored fights before? And I'm like, I've never scored a fight, but when I'm in my media role, I score fights. And Steve's like, yeah, well, I've noticed your scores. I was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, I've seen your scores on Twitter. They run along the lines of my scores, which is a good thing. I'm like, yeah, that's a good thing. He's like, well, you've been to a lot of fights. You know what you're seeing, right? I'm like, yeah, of course I do. He's like, I don't think you'd have a problem scoring fights, but let's do this. Let's try it out, see how you like it, and then let me know. So he told me, you're going to be working the FS1 fights and the Spike TV fights. I was like, perfect. FS1 and Fox, got a chance to work with Brian Kenny, Paulie Malignaggi, Brian Custer. We went all over the freaking place to the most randomest cities ever. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, California, Pennsylvania. Some little freaking towns in Texas. I don't even remember. Like we had a fight in a rodeo one time. That's where Uzcategui knocked out Julius Jackson, the son. For Spike TV, we had a lot of Vegas fights where I worked with Antonio Tarver, Stan Hansen, and Jimmy Smith. So it was a good time. And during that time, I scored the fights. I got good feedback from Steve, and Steve said, hey, we're going to, the C-level fights. Yeah, I guess. No, they put me on the big Fox fights too, on network television. So from there, I started doing all the fights. Certain networks started going away. And then this new Fox deal comes about. The new Fox regime reached out to me and said, hey, Marcos, what did you do for the last Fox production? And I told them I'm this, and this. And they were like, okay, well, do you want to do your same? Sorry, I got to accept that comment. They asked me, do you want to do the same work that you were doing? And I told him, no, I want to be on camera. I want to be talent. I don't want to do the research anymore. That takes too much time. Give me an on-talent thing. Let me interview the guys post-fight. And they're like, oh, okay, well, let's see. A month passed. They have the big press conference where they reveal the talent. And I'm like sitting there like, son of a bitch. I didn't get anything. They didn't offer me anything. Like all that work I did for them 3 years prior. I'm like, damn, I was bummed out. I was really, really bummed out. I would say 2 weeks passes after that. I get a phone call from the Fox people. And it was there that they told me, hey, we're going to give you that opportunity that you asked for. We're going to give you the FS1 fights as the unofficial score. That's all we can give you right now. I'm sorry. We already have a post-fight interviewer. We already have a ringside reporter. But this is kind of a talent position that we have. And I was like, I'll take it. I'll take it. From there, I did so well that they started featuring me on the Fox fights. And that's pretty much how it happened. So I have Steve Farhood to thank for that. And I'm indebted to Steve Farhood, and I'm indebted to Al Bernstein for putting me in that position to have that job. And I hope that this is just the beginning of many, many more opportunities. Fox is a great company. They're great to work with. The production's A+, and I hope we're back soon. I've heard mumblings that boxing might be back on July, but I couldn't tell you guys when Fox is going to be back with boxing. I haven't heard anything. So back to the questions. That was how I ended up working for Fox in the role that I'm at. So 9-2 AKU, yeah, that job. Yeah, Jordan, I love Jordan though. Jesse Ortiz, Cinco de Mayo birthday. What up, man? Make sure to take a shot of tequila. Cinco de Drinko, buddies. Let's go. Because we should all be in Vegas or coming back from Vegas tired, exhausted because of all the partying that we did over the weekend because we saw Canelo versus Saunders, which we didn't get a chance to see that fight, man. We didn't get a chance to see that fight. El Mas Loco. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, come a long way, man. But I still got a long way to go to where I want to be, you know. So, yeah, keep putting that positive energy out there for me, man, because I still want a lot more. Dan, I'm going to talk about that Angel Garcia interview, but I'm going to make its own standalone piece, and I'm going to incorporate Angel when all this is over. I'm going to incorporate Angel to get his feedback, and I'm going to rewatch the interview again with Angel and have like a little commentary with him. So I will do that on that video, but I kind of want to make it special with Angel. Dan, thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Feed Habib. What's up, man? Can I be Foreman? You know, I don't want to talk bad about anybody, to be honest. I like Nestor a lot. He's a cool guy. He's always treated me with respect. And I come from a thing where treat somebody the way you want to be treated. I wouldn't want somebody talking trash about me. So I'm not going to do that. Nestor's always been good to me. He's always showed me respect. He's always been very polite. When I see him, he says, "What's up?" I say, "What's up?" to him. So I don't have anything bad to say about the guy. Dan, no, I did not back down because I couldn't let. It was like I had the jailhouse moment where like you go into jail and they're like fresh meat and you're there and you're at that moment where like, hey, if you back down, they're gonna eat you up, and that's kind of how I got it. 9-2 AKU. That's a lot of questions, bro, but I like it. Thank you, man. Thank you. We want to know who you got in boxing media. Who inspired you? Was it watching Ellie Seckback doing it? No, it wasn't Ellie. I didn't even know who Ellie was when I got into it, which was funny because when I got in it was very early on in the YouTube days, and it's back in like 2008, 2009. And when I started doing YouTube, I hadn't even heard of Ellie. I hadn't even heard of all these other boxing people. And I was just doing this stuff that they were already doing. I was already doing interviews because I had to do it for my other job that I had. So I started doing that. And then eventually I ran into all the boxing people, say maybe a year later, because I started doing MMA videos first, because I was doing MMA work for an MMA company, and it kind of trickled into boxing, me wanting to get more and more content. So eventually I crossed paths with Ellie, I want to say maybe like 2 years in, but it's crazy how like the landscape has changed with like the media people that were in back then as to now. Like the only people that are still around from back then now is me, Ellie, Fight Hype. But I honestly, I didn't never really saw Fight Hype at any of the events. And when they started, finally they had a guy named Lewis that started doing it, but that was maybe 4 years into me doing it. I know they were around, but I just never saw anybody from Fight Hype there. But yeah, everybody else that was doing what I was doing when I started is gone, except for me, Ellie, and Fight Hype. We're the only ones that are still doing it back from 2007, 2008. So that's been 10, 11, 12 years, even though the YouTube for me has been 10 years. I believe more than, I started in 09, September of 09. So yeah, it's been a long time. Peacekeeper Boxing, what's up, man? What up, bro? What's going on, Marcus? Haven't heard from you in a bit, dog. Hope you're doing well, bro. Here's to you, single de Drinko tomorrow, but it's May 4th, so what the heck. My favorite man in the chat right now, it's Mr. Yeet Yeet. What up? What up, Yeet Yeet? All right, I'm gonna scroll up because more questions coming in. That's good. Keep asking the questions. I'll go ahead and answer them. I apologize. I'm scatterbrained sometimes too. If you haven't followed us on social media at Fight Hub TV and at Hey It's Marcos V for me. Let's go back to the questions. DJ 2020, yo Marcos owes us a beer chug. What? Shit. I did say I was gonna shotgun a beer, but I didn't. I put specific prerequisites for me to do it, and I forgot those. So yeah, that I don't have any good beer to chug right now. So let's put that on hold for a little bit. All right, but I will do it. How about this? How about we need more people on the chat? So if you can invite more people on the chat, get it going. Chug a beer. I'll shotgun it right live right in front of you guys. Okay. Feed Khabib. Look at all the fighters like Paulie and Ward who got into broadcasting. Journalism degrees are not needed for camera work in sports. You and Coogan Cassius have no formal journalism training. You don't need a degree to ask good questions and build rapport with fighters. That's not entirely true, Feed Khabib. So it was very important for me, at least, when I was on the field and interviewing fighters, to actually have a journalism background. So I went back to school, actually, took a lot of journalism classes, got my AA in journalism, and I went that route. So even though I didn't go to a university for journalism, I did go back to junior college and took the journalism coursework and went that route. So I have like a AA certificate in journalism, broadcast journalism. So it was very important for me to do that. Arm, no, I'm not gonna take this jersey off. What the heck? What's your problem, bro? Wear whatever the hell I want. Plus, Cinco de Mayo tomorrow. It's the last time I'm gonna see you guys till next week. So I'm gonna rep the jersey. Cinco de Drinko, fool. Come on. Yee, happy May 4th. May the 4th. Have you been enjoying the Clone Wars and your favorite? Thank you so much that I'm your Tony Yayo. You're funny, bro. Dude, I saw the Clone Wars last episodes. Are you guys Star Wars fans in here? I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So I've been geeking out over like the new Clone Wars stuff. I don't know how leave the comments here and let me know if you guys have been watching it. I've been enjoying it. The last episode that aired yesterday, dude, I don't have any good beer, bro. What the heck? I have a mango cart and I don't feel like chugging it because I just ran 5 miles. I'm tired as hell. And I don't want to put the extra calories because I'm trying to lose weight. It's super hard for me to lose weight. I'm not losing weight the way I want to. So back on the Clone Wars. Last week's episode was awesome. I had a nerdgasm. I was freaking out, especially with Order 66 happening. The episode before that, when Maul fought Ahsoka Tano, was freaking awesome because they used mocap and it was Ray Park actually in the mix. So I've been hella enjoying the Clone Wars. I haven't seen Rise of Skywalker again because that movie disappointed the hell out of me. I think they ruined Star Wars with these last 3 movies. And yeah, leave it at that. Is the Rebel series better than Clone Wars? Nah. The Clone Wars is better. Clone Wars is way better, and there's more seasons, even though I think Rebels is good. Yo, interview Mauricio Herrera. I haven't even heard from Mauricio Herrera. Last I heard, he was retired, I think. I hope he's been well. I'll reach out to him. I'll see if I can find him. A lot of the time, these guys disappear, and you just don't hear from them. You don't know where they went, what happened to them. So, saw the first new Star Wars and swore off the rest. I think The Force Awakens was like the only really, really good one of the new sequels. Last Jedi was terrible, was atrocious. They just ruined it. And Rise of Skywalker, they did the best that they could with what they were given, which what happened with the last story, which the last story was terrible, how they just handled the characters and nothing made sense. They diminished a lot of things, and yeah. Obi-Wan versus Anakin was the best fight ever. It was a dope fight. But this Darth Maul versus Ahsoka Tano fight from Clone Wars was legit. Look it up on YouTube. Just type in Darth Maul versus Ahsoka Tano. There's a remix that has the Duel of the Fates song, which is amazing. Awesome. Huge Star Wars fan. Nah, you lie, 92 AKU. Walter's not a weed farmer, is he? Is he? Should we search for Nicholas Walters? Is he even on social media? I'm going to check here. Let's see. I thought Nicholas Walters had an Instagram. Doesn't he have an Instagram, guys? I could have swore he did. Nicholas Walters. Yeah, he's right here. He hasn't posted since 2015. Since the Mayweather Pacquiao. Here's the last post on Nicholas Walters' thing. Can you see it? Now that'd be an interesting get to get Nicholas Walters. I know he lives in Panama, I believe, or Jamaica. I'm not sure. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on trying to get Nicholas Walters. Let's see what happens there. Kennedy Foreman, all these fighters yapping on social media. Do you think any super fights will actually materialize? So, in my interview with Steven Espinoza of Showtime, which he laid out when boxing he feels will be back and when can we expect boxing to be back and in what form. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on the channel. Check it out. Talked to him for like an hour and went through every single thing about boxing coming back and how this is all going to change boxing and if we're going to see lower prices for pay-per-views and what kind of fights we're going to see. I asked him, well, when boxing comes back, what fights are we going to see right away? And are we going to see these super fights or are they going to be pushed back? So he told me the first fights we're going to see when boxing comes back is the fights that were already scheduled to happen but got pushed back because of this. So fights, and he's only talking for Showtime. Like David Benavidez' mandatory fight that he had in Arizona, like that fight. The fights, there's another fight. Boots Ennis' fight. He was scheduled to have a fight. So anybody that had a scheduled fight up until the shutdown, I'm going to see those fights first. Well, then I asked him, like, well, then everybody else, like, how about like Tank versus Leo? They were supposed to fight May, June. What's going to happen in that fight? He said that fight is going to happen, but it's probably going to happen later in the year. So we'll see what happens. A lot of people think these big fights are going to take later now to happen because fighters are going to want tune-up fights or fights to keep them busy and sharp because they haven't fought in so long and they haven't had a lot of training because a lot of fighters aren't training right now because the gyms are closed or they can't get sparring or they can only do limited amount of training. So with that being said, I want to say I would not be surprised if these big fights do get pushed back further. I don't think they're going to push into a big fight where they know they can't sell a huge gate. They can't ask for pay-per-view dollars because everybody is penny pinching and everybody's struggling financially. So, it could be a good year till we see these huge fights. It could be a good year till we see Tank versus Leo, Plant versus Benavidez, or even more, or 2 years. Canelo versus Triple G 2. Because so much of those guys' purses with these big fights are tied up to the gate revenue and the pay-per-view revenue, where that allows them to be able to pay these bigger purses for these fights. So I could very much see these big fights taking even longer, which is a bummer. But if you're an athlete and you haven't been training, which you should be training, especially now, but you can't blame them because they don't have adequate training available to them. And for them to go into a big fight, which, let's be real, when you lose in boxing, you take a big hit, even though you shouldn't be taking a big hit when you lose in boxing. I think we should change that overall in general and be more like how MMA is. And even back in the 80s, I think, fans were like that too, where they didn't really care so much about the record. Look at Roberto Duran. Duran lost a few fights also as well. Look at Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard lost fights. Everybody loses fights. So I don't think the record should be as important anymore. It should be if the fighter's badass. If the fighter can fight, gives you a good show. That's what it should be. Who cares what the record is? If that fighter goes in, gives you a badass fight, and you know that you're going to get a badass fight every time you see that fighter fight, that should be enough there, right there. Who cares what the record is? It's if their skill level is up to par for the task at hand. But with that, I think the big fights, it's going to be a little bit longer now with this, because at the end of the day, it's a business and they want to make as much money as they possibly can. And I just can't see them paying these purses unless they have a gate revenue. And the gate revenue is serious money. And without that serious money, they can't give them these purses. So Faithful 49er or Faithful Niner. Nah, MMA, you have to fight the best. Boxing, you can milk a 40-0 record. That's true. That's the one good thing about the UFC and the MMA is because Dana controls everything. The best fight the best consistently like the other sports. And there's no cherry picking. There's no one versus guy who's unranked or one versus guy who's ranked number 12, number 11. You got to give it to the UFC. Number one guy always fights the top-rated guy. John Jones, always fighting the number one contender. All the champions are always fighting the number one or the number two contender. And that's how it should be. I wish boxing was that way too, because it would make the sport a lot more transparent and less confusing. Because if you were asked, hey, who's the middleweight champion of the world right now? You'd be like, well, there's this guy who has this belt, and then there's this guy who has this other belt. Or for instance, perfect example. If your friend who's an MMA fan asks you, hey, who's the super middleweight champion of the world? You'd be like, oh, well, there's actually like 4 of them. You're like, wait, what? How can there be 4 world champions? Yeah, there's, it's weird. Like there's a guy named Caleb Plant, and there's a guy named David Benavidez, and there's a guy named Callum Smith. There's another guy, I forget who holds the other, Billy Joe Saunders, and like, think of it like, a crown that has 4 jewels and like when you fill the crown with those 4 jewels, you're considered the universal undisputed champ. It's confusing as hell. This shit needs to stop. Like it's retarded. It's stupid. So I think that's one thing where boxing can learn from MMA and make it better. Charlo's WBC champ, 160. But, boxing is structured differently than the UFC. So because of the business of boxing, it's a lot harder to consistently get number 1 versus number 2, which is sad. And we don't get the fights that we want when they should happen. Dan, best fight lately was Chavez Sr. versus Travis Arce. That actually was entertaining, dude. I saw that fight, and I was entertained. The way he hit the referee, that shit was funny, bro. This shit was funny. Def Trojan 14. How do you manage that, Ming? How do I manage what? What do you mean? How do I manage that? I don't know what you're talking about. S.J. Lee. Inoue versus Casimiro. Dope fight. Badass fight. I was so looking forward to that fight. It's supposed to happen in Vegas. My hair. What do you mean, how do I manage it? I just comb my hair. What are you talking about? It's hair. I don't know. Is hair not supposed to look the way my hair looks? That's a very odd question, bro. What are you talking about? All right. Back to Inoue versus Casemiro. Refreshing. I want to say that Inoue would have been the favorite in the fight because of his massive punching power, because the competition he's faced. He's faced top 5 guys the last year and a half, 2 years. Better competition than Casemiro, even though Casemiro is a tricky guy and he has power too. But I think at this point, Inoue is just on fire and he has a lot of momentum going his way. And the thing with Inoue is it could end up finishing the fight in one punch, man, just very, very quickly. So I would favor the fight for him. It would have been hard for Casemiro to win, to be honest. It would have been very, very hard for him to win the fight. And I think at some point he would have gotten caught with a big punch. And maybe he would have gotten down. Maybe he wouldn't have gotten down. Who knows? But I think it wasn't in favor of him. It would have been a tough fight for him. I hope we get it after all this is over. Casemiro's in Vegas actually training at home. I think he might go train at the Top Rank gym. But Inoue's back in Japan and he can't get over here. That's the other reason why we're not seeing a Garcia versus Linares fight. I think these fighters from Japan can't come over here to the U.S. because of the travel ban that everybody has in place because of this that's going on. So that's my take on that. Tony Yayo's sucralose is not a good source of sugar. Get rid of the Coke. Does this thing have sucralose? I don't know. I just drink it because it has 0 carbs and 0 sugar and 0 calories. And I like soda. And yeah, I don't have a lot of soda though, honestly. Have soda maybe like once or twice a week and then that's it. Tony Yayo, what happened to the secret set? Secret set Sor Rung Visai. That's a tongue twister. Try saying that 10 times. Sri Saket Sor Rung Visai. The guy that beat Chocolate or Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Rung Visai just did a video the other day, I think. He's training from what I saw a month ago. He posted out a clip of him hitting the bag. So he's another guy that's affected by the travel ban with COVID. You know, he's out there in Thailand, not able to do much. I don't know how the Thailand commission is for fights, but, you know, he took a long break after that loss that he had against, who was it, Gallo Estrada, in which no idea why he fought the whole fight, majority of the whole fight, orthodox. The moment he switched to southpaw, he started winning the fight. So I think hopefully we'll see him facing the winner of Gallo Estrada versus Roman Gonzalez, because I've heard that there's movement for Gallo Estrada and Roman Gonzalez to fight for a third time. Arnold Cruz, what's up, bro? What's going on, man? Thanks for joining in. Love your work. Have you ever worked a fight in the UK? And if you did, how was the atmosphere? Shout out from Houston, Texas. Arnold, man, hope you're safe and well in Houston, Texas. First off, I've never worked a fight in the UK. I want to work a fight, but it's a lot of money up front on my end to spend. And then, we don't have a very big UK audience. Our audience is here in the US, so that's another reason. And then there's a few things too, over there. I need to get for when I go over there. It's more a logistical thing too, as well, to make sure that I get the amount of traffic that I get at events for it to be worthwhile to go over there. So that's the only reason why I haven't gone over there. Trust me, I've been wanting to go over there to cover a fight for a long, long time, but they also treat media a little bit different over there too if you're digital. So yeah, that's another reason as to why I've been a little bit more hesitant to go to a fight over there as opposed to not going over there. So yeah, Javier Carlos, completely wrong, bro. God, Jesus. Yeah, thank you, Ultra Mega Ma. This guy doesn't know how to read. All right. Kapalot Banks, what's up, bro? What's going on? Hope you're doing well. Arm, hey, Marcos, how is James Kirkland looking on his comeback? For real? Or money grab if Canelo money is gone? So I was supposed to work that Kirkland return fight against Marcos Hernandez. He had a full training camp, no end wolf. He looked in shape. I saw video from his training camp. He looked good. He looked strong. I think it was for reals. He looked like he was renewed again and dedicated. But the thing with Kirkland is so inconsistent. That's the thing. Like, he'll be ready for this fight, and then he'll go off again, and you won't see him. Same thing with Frankie Gomez. Frankie Gomez had that fight with Herrera. And where's Frankie? Where is he? We haven't seen anything from Frankie in like 3 years. And Frankie had all the talent in the world. So is Kirkland for reals this time? I don't know. I like to say he is, because he looked in shape for that fight with Marcos Hernandez. And he looked like he had everything in order. But never happened, so. Andre, it's shotgun time, Marcus. Do it for the boys. Ah, damn it, you guys. You're funny, man. You guys are funny. I don't got good beer, dude. That's the thing. Seeing Frankie disappear was sad. Just when JWW and junior welterweight and welterweight was going up. That's true, man. And Frankie was legit, dude. He was such a blue chip talent as well. All the talent in the world. But I think DJ 2020, chug. Chill, bro. Save yourself. The thing with Frankie and a lot of fighters is that, and I think that's with anybody in any profession that has been doing a certain thing since they're a little kid. You get overworked. You lose the passion for it. You get burnt out. So I think that's what happened with Frankie. Doing it for so long and dedicating so much of his life to it, he just wanted to live and relax and enjoy life. It happens to a lot of fighters where they take a break for a year just to recover, recoup their mind mentally, recoup their body physically, because every training camp is just tough, man. And you re-aggravate old injuries, or you get hurt from sparring and training, and you come into the fight with all sorts of pains and not at 100%. And it just takes so much of a toll on you. And like, even me doing this Fight Hub for so long, man, it's been mentally draining at times too, where I'll come back from a fight week and I don't want to do jack shit for a week. Like, I'm literally just vegging out on the couch, playing video games and watching TV for a whole week, because I get so mentally drained from the fight week. So, a lot of that happens to fighters. And I think a lot of you guys that are kids who had parents that were very overbearing and made you do sports and very forceful on you doing those sports, you get to a point where you don't want to do it anymore. You get tired of doing the same thing. You lose the passion. And I think that happens to a lot of boxers when they do it for so long and they have so much pressure on them because they're so good and they show so much promise that they just like, you know what? Peace. I'm out of here. So we'll hopefully we see Frankie back because he had a lot of talent and a lot of promise. But what has it been? 3 years now since we've seen Frankie? It's been a long time, man. It's been a very, very long time. So we'll see. Tony Yayo, I will never forgive that tall Mexican for beating Dogbo. Yeah, that tall Mexican has gone on to fight a lot and made a lot of defensive. That tall Mexican's shown that really, really good. And that tall Mexican is Emmanuel Navarrete. Badass fighter, man. He's really, really good. Kennedy Foreman, have you or anyone at Fight Hub spoken to Canelo or De La Hoya or Golden Boy representatives regarding De La Hoya's loyalty comments? No. I asked if I could talk to Oscar, and they told me he was unavailable at this time, which means no, we're not going to have him talk to you because you're not a big enough outlet, which, you know, it is what it is. This is what happens to us sometimes, us digital people. We get kind of looked down on, but, you know, we're there covering every single one of your fights, your small little fights. We're there when all these big outlets or so-called big outlets don't want to cover your little fights. We're there covering your little fights every single time. So, you know. Dogbo is from my country. He can't fight that tall Mexican. Yeah. No, it's not because I'm PBC. I'm an employee of Fox. You know, I do my job with Fox and I go back to Marcos. I'm balanced. I'm non-biased in my interviews. And I make sure to do that. So, you know, I'll reach out to Oscar again. If he did a podcast last week, I don't know who he did it with. Who did he do it with? 992AKU. Let me know. But we'll see how it is. All right, you guys. Follow us on social media at Fight Up TV, at Hey It's Marcos V. Apologize if I was a little bit low energy. This run kind of killed me. Brian Campbell's with CBS Sports. That tells you right there, bro. And with Showtime. Monolith? I'm a monolith. There you go. How'd you get into boxing broadcasting? I actually shared that story about 20 minutes ago. So scroll back 20 minutes ago and you'll know how I got into it. Ultra Mega Man. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, you haven't been watching me very long. I've been me and been very fair and in the middle, regardless of my role with Fox. I get paid by Fox. I don't get paid by PBC. Fox. I'm a Fox employee. So Holyfield versus Tyson right now. Who you taking? Tyson. Do you see Tyson on the mitts, dog? Tyson looked freaking crazy on the mitts. Oh my God. That's crazy how Mike Tyson is still as fast as he is at 53 years of age. That is scary, dude. That is the scariest 53-year-old I've seen. Can you imagine if he actually trained for 6 months, how good he would look? Oh my God. You know, Tyson said that he's been getting the itch again. He wants to do exhibition for charity. I would not want to be the guy that spars Tyson in an exhibition. Hell no. After that clip, no. I don't care how much money, man. He ended up sending you to the hospital. Nah. I'm going to pass on that shit. No, thank you. But Mike looks good. The weed is probably keeping him young. The one, I agree with that. But yeah, today I looked back at the clip and I was just like, Jesus. How is this guy? That's like Manny. How is Manny as fast as he is still at 40? You know, even though Manny's lost a step, he's not as fast as he was 10 years ago because I was there. I've seen it with my two eyes. the fastest Manny was, when Manny was at his peak, was in his camps with, I remember I saw him for the third camp with Marquez, and in his camp, especially for his camp with Margarito. In his camp with Margarito, oh my God, Manny looked so damn sharp, so damn quick, man. I was just like, holy shit, this guy's going to eat up Antonio Margarito. These guys are special for a reason. That's why there's only one Mike Tyson. That's why there's only one Manny Pacquiao. That beast part of them, that's like their genetic advantage is that speed for both these guys. And seeing that clip, it reminded you why Mike Tyson was so damn scared when he fought in his prime. And I'm going to do a video about the time I pissed off Mike Tyson during an interview. I pissed him off. And the look that he gave me, I was like, holy shit, this guy is going to kill me right now. I was scared and intimidated. And I've never been intimidated in an interview. That was one of the only times I was legit like worried the situation was going to get out of control because Mike Tyson got freaking pissed. So I'm going to do a video on that as to why he got angry, some backstory about that night. I'm going to show the interview where he got pissed off at me. So it's going to be a good one. All right, you guys, this live chat's for an hour. It's been an hour and 6 minutes. We're still going, but I'm starting to lose my voice. Can Pacquiao really sing? Yes. Look up sometimes when we touch. That's his video that he did where he sings. He can actually, he's a better singer than me. I can't sing worth shit. So, that tells you. Dan, peace out, bro. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, man. All right, you guys, I'm tired. I apologize. I just got back from a run. I'm going to go ahead and end the live chat. Thank you so much. Make sure to follow us at Fight Hub TV on Instagram and on Twitter. Follow me as well, man, at Hey It's Marcos V on Instagram and Twitter. Next week, 8 o'clock, Monday. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Happy May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Go watch a bunch of Star Wars shows. I'm going to go drink some tequila. Drink some tequila tomorrow. Make sure to drink a lot of tequila tomorrow. Make yourself some tacos. You guys, be well, be safe, be healthy, be positive, be productive. During this time, being productive and busy is a big key to maintaining very healthy and a very balanced mind state during these times. Don't isolate yourself away from your friends. Reach out to them as well, even if you're bored or lonely. When you get negative thoughts or you feel unproductive, go outside, go for a run, go for a walk. You'll be surprised how that resets you, how that puts you in a better mood. And if all fails, I'm going to play a little sound effect for you. Just go on this site if all else fails, all right? And at least you'll feel better for a little bit. Let me know if you guys know this. Let me know if you know that theme. Just go on that site right there. And I think you'll be good for at least a good 10 minutes. All right, you guys. That's it for this weekend edition of the live chat. Ricardo Barajas, tequila time when all this is over. Thanks so much. Add us on social media at Fight Up TV. The one knows what's up. On Instagram and Twitter at Hey It's Marcos V. Instagram and Twitter. All right, you guys. Peace out. Have a good rest of your Monday. That is the end of today's live chat. Appreciate it. Be safe. Thank you.